we talking about number lines? We're talking about
Negative and positive integers.
negative and positive integers. Awesome, thank you. And we were also talking about positive and negative
Fraction
decimals, which are also called
Rational numbers.
rational numbers. Awesome. Okay, so yesterday, part of yesterday was watching a video about how two people were tuning guitars. And they used an instrument that measures the frequency of the vibrations of the strings, and it measures them in what's called cents. And I happened to talk to Mr. Lee about that yesterday. And he happened to have one of those meters, and he happens to have some guitars that need tuning. So I asked if he would like to come down this morning and show us how it works, and we can then tune some guitars.
There's different ways in which you can tune. You can tune the instrument relative to itself, so that the strings sound good together. And you can do it just if your ear works, you can hear which one needs a bit of adjusting, and then you put it in. So that's relative tuning for the guitar. But if I was going to play with some other instrument that's not movable, like a clarinet or a saxophone or something that has a fixed pitch, then you have to be able to have it. It's what we call absolute tuning, which you have to have it to the right pitch exactly. That's where a tuning device comes in. So you saw how this worked. This is set at A440, which 440 is the frequency of the note A. At a certain degree, it vibrates 440 times per second. So you can see the arrow is beneath, and it's also a flatter note. So I need to get to E, and I need to get that arrow right in the middle there.
So if we're thinking about numbers on a number line, if that meter is not at 0, which is the correct pitch, and we're looking at the meter to the left of 0, where it would be in our negative range, our notes would be flat. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so if we're looking at the meter and our notes are to the right of 0, which would be in the positive range, our notes would be
Sharp.
sharp. Okay. All right.
And basically, it's not an easy skill to tune an instrument. Like, it takes a bit of technical. You have to know what you're aiming for. So you kind of need to know what note you want to get to, and you need to know how to make the note change, which seems simple. It's with these tuning pegs, but there's a physical nature of the string as well, that the strings kind of stretch a little bit. If I play my E now, after I've pulled it out a little bit, now it's saying it's flat again. So when you're tuning a guitar, it's best to come at being in tune from coming underneath, if that makes sense. So if I'm tuning my guitar and it says, if I play this note, this says it's an F. Well, do you know, is F higher or lower than E? It's higher. So I need to go flat. But what I'm going to do when I'm tuning it, this is just for your practice, is I'm going to go, so I'm a few cents sharp. To tune the note, I'm going to go lower than the note again and then come back up. So it'll pick it up, and then it's going to give you a feedback on what you're hearing. This one here. So the E's working. Let's try the A. Play it again. It says G2, right? So G is lower than A. So you're going to need to tighten the string, and then you're going to turn this. Now, is that going looser or sharper? No. It is. This is moving around, but this is kind of jumping between a lot of different notes. So with this tuner, you have to look and see what note it is. What note does it say? Does it say anything? So we need to go up from G. So they design different tuners specifically for guitars, because this one takes quite a bit of prior knowledge as well.
Right.
Which is a challenge, but once you get the facility for it, you kind of have to know generally where you want to know, and you have to be able to see what letter it tells you and know, well, that's not the right note, so I need to go higher or lower to even get to the right note. And then once you get to the right note, then you look at where the little needle is. Play it, tune it, until it starts to say D. I think that's it. Good job.
Nice job.
Somehow it's picking up, this is an interesting thing, because this is an orchestral tuner. Sometimes it'll show like 2 or 3 notes, and it might be confusing, and what's actually happening is that this is picking not only this note, but sometimes other strings might ring because they have resonant frequencies. Like there's mathematical frequencies where the relationships of the notes, they ring in like sympathy to another note. So she was only playing B, but maybe within the guitar it really kind of has a sympathy towards this E flat note, and so it was showing her 2 notes at the same time, which again is kind of something that could be confusing because E's not really close to E, but E and B have a mathematical relationship where a B note is a fifth of a way. It's a fifth distance in terms of octaves, and they talk to each other, those notes. So it's kind of interesting that you've got a sympathetic. So let's just check this one. So you need to go up to get to the note. So you have to work out which way tighter is. Play it and then twitch. Is that tighter or looser?
Tighter.
That's the right way then. Interesting thing, those people that saw it, sometimes when you watch the scale, when you watch the needle, when you first play the note, it's very common for the needle to jump sharp, and then it goes like low, and then it kind of rests in a place. Do you know why that's happening? Why the first sound is sharp, and then the second, then it kind of jumps around and it kind of settles in a place?
Because of the echo?
That's a good thought. That's not the echo. The echo is like the after sound or something. Yeah. Why is it sharp when it first sounds and then kind of pulls back a little bit? I have no idea.
It's first deciding what it's doing. I'm not sure.
That's a thought. It's not so much about a decision that it makes, because this is mechanical, but it has something to do with how you make it sound.
When you cut the string, sometimes the sound's a little bit higher at first and then it slows down.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it is probably what you said. All right, and then look at where this needle kind of rests after you play it.
Just a little behind.
Play it again. See how it goes forward and then back?
Mm-hmm.
So do you know what you're going to do to make it get to 0? You're going to have to tighten it a little bit.
Yeah, which would be pushing it away.
Turn
from
it towards
this side.
Mahir. Yeah. But after you play it, turn it.